Yes, Ethiopia. True Football Fans channel no sunye. It's been a while. You see, I check a crowd, but we are back. We are back for good. And quick preview on a few games about so this weekend. Were top flight European leagues in the moon. About the top 5 European leagues in the few big games now you are discussing. But first, Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. That was Stamford Bridge. Between Chelsea and in-form Everton. Evertonians now lose just one game in the last 5, winning 4, including the famous winner of Old Trafford. Last week, Oboche Fulham by 2-0. And then the only defeat in the last 5 games against Newcastle United. And for Chelsea, only one win in the last 5 games in all competitions, and that was against FC Barcelona. Chelsea ended too good enough in the Premier League in the last couple of games. Lose to Leeds, draw with Bournemouth, and then other disappointing scorelines now. But actually, I'm back face to face at Stamford Bridge on Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, and me Kofi as I saw you better give me quick one.
But we are back.
Visit
why not? And there's a saying, it is better late than never. Until we are back.
Sure. Saturday afternoon, a very entertaining game. I can't about the two clubs now. I mean, Everton looks more like a stronger side coming into this fixture at Stamford Bridge.
Yes. If you want to look at form there, it's obvious. So moving into the game on Saturday, Everton form as against Chelsea Football Club. But I would say it is always a difficult game playing against clubs like Chelsea, more character in the Premier League. But sometimes current form override character. And that is the nature of the game. God willing, Saturday. Now, I think, sir, if you look at the conversations around Chelsea, the only positive thing is that Enzo Maresca will name manager of the month of November, because if you look at games at Chelsea boy in the month of November against Arsenal, against Spurs, against I think Burnley and Wolves, all these games Chelsea didn't lose any of them. It's the reason why Maresca manager of the month moving into this game. So that is the positive thing at Chelsea, who are ahead of the game. But if we depart from the performance in November, now at Chelsea more in the last few games, it is not the best. Whilst Everton,
since winning against Barcelona, Chelsea have gone ahead and have gone on to draw against Arsenal, and a defeat. Leeds and then draw, yes. And then another year in the Champions League
against Atalanta
or Bergamo.
Yes, so good times for Chelsea, and is the reason why there are even reports manager if form continues that way, Chelsea beat Miejano somewhere in January or something like that. So ahead of the game, Chelsea form that's obvious. But I would say in the game, one thing that to me in frame the material that you parade on any day. Of course, if you look at the managers, David Moyes for Everton, Maresca for Chelsea, in terms of coaching there, because Maresca had a Conference League, had the Club World Cup in recent times, but he can experience in the game there. I think that Moyes a lot of it compared to Maresca. He's even coached clubs like Manchester United, and we all know in terms of pedigree, Chelsea cannot compare themselves to Manchester United. So for a manager who coaching United pen there, it tells you he knows how to play under pressure, and that is the dynamics of the game. But I think the problem Everton benya the fact that in terms of materials enyade a omo enough quality compared to Chelsea. So the only way Chelsea befa so to get something in this game the fact that they have a lot of quality players compared to Everton, and when such players move back to the party on any day, it is difficult for any opponent. And Barcelona said the any excited Chelsea recent games, and they said the last game they won was against Barcelona, and we saw how the players performed. So these are guys on any day say omo perform at omo level and him say omo perform difficult, and you know that is how, whichever way you look at it, Ube share Everton as the underdogs moving into the game. But to be honest, the pressure at Chelsea and the fact that Chelsea performance now on and off, and that any other bad performance or any other bad result for Chelsea be my manager and the chances of staying are in serious jeopardy. I am thinking, sir, you see a different attitude from the manager, you see a different attitude from the players, which is why a man yet tough for Everton. It's a game, even though Everton form was still moving into the game, but I will still give Chelsea a double chance. I don't see Chelsea losing it because of the materials or more and the character of the team, and the fact that back-to-back defeats any acceptable in the books of Chelsea. Everton can lose the game tomorrow and nothing will happen, but in the case of Chelsea, a defeat for Maresca, the chances of staying are very slim. And he expect a different attitude, expect a different energy from the Chelsea manager and the boys. I'll still go for a win or draw for Chelsea, even though Everton form no a year compared to Chelsea.
Good. One last question about an individual, Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Since leaving Chelsea, I would say I found him to my peripheral year. He's playing so well in the last couple of games now. Goals, including the best Old Trafford now there. When is our point to prove on Saturday against Chelsea?
Absolutely. A backward to guide some of these conversations. Even in the books of Chelsea, you remember those days where Mohamed Salah felt at some point say Chelsea had managed their chance to prove himself. Kevin De Bruyne, even Lukaku, a lot of them, several of those players. I mean, who saw examples, maybe. And forget about everything. This Hall playing for Everton, only the chance to come back to Chelsea tomorrow. He will come back, and he will love to prove a point. Say he is a player. I wasn't at Chelsea and maintain, and that one there, it is never in doubt. Which is why I feel say manager no of finding a way to curtail the boy, because he knows the Chelsea culture, he knows the players. Only be my bar several times, and that fear now only big teams need the bar a toss. I don't expect to say I fear any be better this blue horse, because he knows the team, he's been there, and he believes on new player and also Chelsea pushing away. If you ask him today, he will make that point. But they are so diplomatic, say they will have a way to go about the conversation. You wouldn't feel say or can be to hurt the club. And for me, yes, he has a point to prove. The point is that he would want to tell Chelsea, say no, so we maintain players like Tariq George and Okafor, say Jamie Gittens, and to some extent Garnacho and all of that. Then I also deserve to play. And that attitude needed, it's obvious that the guy will demonstrate that, but it's up to the manager to make sure say but in the end I think that say Uprovi a pointer, it is good for him, it is also good for Chelsea, because if Chelsea decides to recall him, he's obviously going to return. Whichever way it is, I think it's a win-win situation for Chelsea in the case of the player.
Okay, prediction, quick one now,
90% likely say Chelsea be winning. In a worst case scenario, a draw for Chelsea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Kofi prediction, and that's also be to me the comment section. But so hit on the subscribe button because is a grown kakra in a haste in an tema yepe but send a growth in a corner yepe numbers no kona nim kakra and we are grateful until you now subscribe here so for the account na numbers in kona nim and then try as much as possible say we share in video no I'm also friends we the better war and our WhatsApp status ni na no yeah we appreciate it that's it so why that's it and then share the next video no so another part of the conversation that's it.